What's up, friends? Welcome back to Marvel Rivals. It's F. I got Aggro here in the wings as well, and we're going to jump into some Kanga versus AUS Endgame action. Oshi, you know how it goes. How you doing, Gro?
I'm doing well, man. Excited to see what we have out of these two teams. I mean, we're familiar with the Kanga brand coming from our neck of the woods, and excited to see what they're going to bring here in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, it's really cool. Texie, we've seen him in different games and still flying that banner with the Kanga guys. And Donald, I've seen him in some of the interviews. Big hair, big attitude as well. The tank play on this team is really, really fun. Watch Donald to look for that Magneto. But with our bans in here, the Groot has been banned out by Endgame because, well, yeah, the tank play. That Groot can be really, really devastating. And the Hela banned out as well, just consistent damage onto the protects.
Yeah, interested to see what exactly is going to get protected alongside this Luna Snow. I mean, it opens you up to do a lot with your composition when you know you've got the best healer ready to go, but it also means that they're going to have the best healer ready to go. So we'll see what happens. Interested to see the Psylocke because I feel like that's one of those ultimates that gets countered pretty well by Luna Snow.
It's one that gets countered by Luna Snow, but it's also one that demands the counter, so to speak. You see the same thing with Storm being so dominant, where these are ultimates that will absolutely period kill people. However, if you answer with your support ultimate, well, then you just burned your support ultimate. And so now you're in a world where either the DPS ultimate from 6 here on the Psylocke is going to get a bunch of kills on the back line, or force out that support ultimate to allow you to play more fair rivals, so to speak.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, especially when Wolverine is on the field as well, because that's a pick that has been really consistently banned in a lot of the competitive rivals that we've been watching, but this time, open and available. Kronicx already on it. We'll see if AUS wants to switch to one as well, but really going to be following along with Kronicx in this match.
Yeah, right now we've got 2 tanks online for Endgame over there in red. We've got the Captain America, which is definitely an interesting talking point, and the Magneto, which is a little bit more standard. Once the Wolverine, once we like meet each other and see that Wolverine's on the field, a lot of times teams like to swap out of the double tank into the single tank as a result of this pick because of the, I mean, basically Wolverine, yeah, kidnap, but his abilities do percent-based damage, so he's just swinging harder against you if you have a big HP pool. So as a result, he's the tank killer.
It's going to be fun to watch, man. He's one of those dynamic picks. You know, he's mobile. He does a lot of damage. He can turn fights on low HP. It's going to be exciting to see what Kronicx can do with the pick.
A bad Wolverine also just kind of does nothing, so it really winds up about finding these, like, finding action without sight lines. Sitting here, abusing this 3P. Winds up smacking Storm real quick. Definitely a character that likes to hit tanks, but doesn't have to. So this time around, finds the right target and just starts to harass this Magneto. And look how hard the tank is pushed off the point.
And no support for the other tank on the other side. Mucka's going to fall early on. Kanga off to a great start here on this point. Should be able to grab point control and start building up that percent.
Even if Wolverine isn't getting these kills directly, he's just occupying space in somebody's mind. When we say occupy space, we're really talking about like literally on the field, pushing forward. But then there's also the idea of the mental stack, and there's just so much. You always have to worry about sneaky Wolverine, and that really twists up your game.
Certainly one of those map shifters. See what they can do on the other side as Endgame going to try and push in behind this Magneto. They didn't switch off double tank. They switched which the tank it was on the other side. No more Captain America, but it's a Hulk instead for Mucka.
That's probably a good choice, just in any way. Captain America's a curious choice, but here comes the Storm ultimate. And not a real response. 1 kill goes down for Storm. Make it 3! The ultimate and then some. After the fact, Kronicx and Texie fall out, and Valk gets one after the fact. And so while Kanga was sitting pretty on that point up until now, 51%, it's now changed over to the Endgame squad.
Yeah, we were following along with the right player there. Nyang just kind of walked in and pressed it. Didn't have a lot of people in his face, didn't have a lot of people trying to disrupt him either.
Gonna go for it one more time. The Loki circles are down, but who cares? It's a Storm! 2 in the ultimate. She pops out, finds one with the basic attack after the fact. Kronicx on the assist for that one. And the Wolverine is Wolverineing, and Storm making it happen as well.
So you just get to walk in and press ultimate, apparently, on Storm these days. Exactly what we saw on the other side. Wins AUS Endgame the point, and Kanga says, yeah, we can do that too. Come back and wrests control, now 70% and climbing on the side of Kanga. Not a whole lot of time for AUS Endgame. They got to push it now.
Yeah, Snicoos used this ultimate last time around, so we won't see the Invisible Woman go hard. Instead, it's going to be Magneto taken to the sky, and there's that Psylocke. Is there an answer? And it looks like there is. Nobody in blue winds up falling down, but Kronicx, and Kronicx. 2 kills for the Wolverine, and Kanga Donalds goes all the way deep, pushes him off the point. And just like that, round 1 done in the pocket for Kanga.
Kanga in control, only 21% for AUS Endgame in that round. It was one good fight from AUS Endgame, really centered around that Storm ultimate, like you said, but at the end of the day, Kanga just had everything they needed to come back, retake the point, and push AUS Endgame to the next round.
Yeah, Nyang came through and did the thing. And then Snicoos popped the ultimate, and everybody walked onto the point. But I don't know where the other support ult went, and then once the Invisible Woman ultimate was down for the count, there was just no answer to, like I said, the other stuff that Kanga had. 6 pops the Psylocke ultimate, and Kanga just heals through it. No problem. Who cares? Not the same situation across the way, and so as a result, Kanga's able to take the point, reserve some of their utility, and use it for the next push. So I don't even think they were that concerned when they wound up losing that fight, Aggro. I think they were like, all right, let them push all the buttons and we'll just come back next time.
Yeah, they didn't look concerned, and they didn't need to be, clearly. We're able to come in and really establish control once again pretty easily. We'll see if Nyang can find as good of a Hurricane as he did the first time around. Maybe that could be the way that AUS Endgame gets the initial point this time around.
Yeah, the Storm play was strong. Would love to see a round 3. That's always where it gets real spicy. Storm has the ultimate, doesn't want to pop it just yet. Probably the right choice. And it's going to be Hulk getting aggressive. This is Mucka this time around. Playing heavy for Endgame. And just harassing this backline. Tough for the Hulk to go ahead and take care of that Loki heal, because he has to really find the right place, but able to just harass enough to prevent him from healing the rest of the squad, Aggro. And as a result, Kanga's just chilling.
Yeah, not pressed yet again. Kanga looks so cool, calm, and collected without even really needing to use any big cooldowns in order to secure this initial point. Now they've got 3 ultimates, and it feels difficult for AUS Endgame to try and push in through this choke.
I love this choice from Storm to hold on to the ult. Now she's going to use it. She waited for this big moment, and there's the response from Endgame to go ahead and pop their support ults. Storm still winds up getting 1, and another, 3 in the pocket for Tyra, and she didn't even need the ultimate. We make it a quadra kill for fun, and she's still on the road. Bruce Banner belongs to her. Give the kill to the Storm. Let her go.
These guys have no appreciation for the moment, Tom. One weakness I'm seeing immediately for Kanga, and maybe the only one, is that they're selfish for the kills. They don't let their boy get the penta. Still a good problem to have if you're Kanga, just making it look easy.
And what's fun is that she's not just spamming the ultimate. We're seeing long-range shots with the lightning. Nyang's going to go ahead and pop the ultimate, but her against the world. Nothing for the ultimate out of Nyang. Nothing for the ultimate out of Snicoos, and nobody alive for anybody in an Endgame jersey. Fantastic performance by Kanga. I mean, that's how you just tell him, stop.
Dominance, man. I mean, look at the health bars. Everyone full. Now Crim starting to take a couple pot shots from a distance, but Donald still has the ultimate. This is going to be nearly impossible, it feels like, for Endgame to get back in.
They got 10%, enough to just bum rush him, but with big, bulky, tanky boy back here, he's going to look to separate the Invisible Woman. Luna opens up the point. Here comes the dance, but everybody else around has their buttons after. This Luna Snow ult's going to end, and so is her life. Storm from the backline makes sure to make it all happen at the right time. And because of the timing, the exclamation point puts down And it's 2 rounds for Kanga.
Man, they just made it look easy here, F-Dot. Just absolute dominance on that second point. Endgame, in the initial point, we're able to at least get some percentage. This time around, Kanga didn't even come close to losing a fight. I'm not sure if anyone even died on their team that round, if I'm being honest. They were just in complete control from minute 1.
And listen, this is a lot to do with the healers, right? Like, look at this. 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, look at Tyra feeding 27 and 2. Oh my goodness.
And that's why you don't give him the 5th kill. Like, he didn't deserve it because he died 2 times.
You know, when you're right, you're right. Look at this though. 14,000 player damage off of this Tyra. And yeah, I see Nyang also doing 13K. So yeah, Storm's a little good. But this is really where I was getting at, is that like, you've got the micro, if you will, of hitting your shots and taking down the opponent. But then you have the macro, if you will, where it's like finding the right timing. When are you popping your ultimates? And every single time Kanga popped their ultimates, it was after Endgame had already used all of their buttons, all of their tools, all of their gadgets. Meanwhile, across the way, the red team, they used all their stuff to get onto the point and then didn't have anything for the stuff after the stuff. They just ate it. And that was a big deal for me looking at Kanga here, Aggro. Just the right timing was perfect.
Good synergy, good accuracy. That's going to lead to good results when you're working together well, timing it well, and aiming it well. It's pretty hard to lose unless the other team is really going to be performing on your level. And in this match, at the very least, AUS Endgame was not performing on Kanga's level. Absolutely dominant from them. Really impressive stuff.
Well, I mean, you said it. Good timing means good rivals. And with that, we say goodbye, but just for a couple of minutes. We'll be right back with more Rivals after this. What up, Rivals Nation? It's F-Dot here. I've got Aggro in the wings. Say hi, Aggro.
Hello. Hi.
There it is. And we've got Rivals right in front of us. Kanga are on a tear here, one of the stronger teams in Oceania, and they're going up against AUS Endgame. And so, let's jump in.
It's always a good sign when your co-caster isn't successfully able to execute the command, say hi. That should give you a lot of confidence for what I'm going to bring to this broadcast.
Well, I think there's confidence on the side of Endgame here because they ban out the Magneto, and no, listen, this is a competitive level of play. Nobody's a one trick, but Donald's Magneto is really scary. And the way Magneto he's just like a jack of all trades, master of, well, still a lot of them, and that's kind of problematic, but he's able to be aggressive. He's able to push. He's able to do damage. He's able to protect. And speaking of protect, this Captain America gets protected, and just... why is the question? Because you're not going to get it banned, so a cute choice.
Yeah. You know, there's something to be said for mind games, you know? Okay. Just throwing them off balance a little bit. Making them think the exact same thing. Why? What strange strategies could Captain America have up his sleeve? Could they be utilizing some crazy OP team-up that we haven't thought to try? Or, you know, just doing their thing.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm straight up ignoring the Black Widow. That's a troll. I think the Captain America could absolutely have some sort of moment where he hits at the back line, and the attention to the Wolverine ban, which, yes, Wolverine is kind of like the go-to meta ban, but specifically here, maybe you want to play that front line. And I'm still looking at 6 here, because as dismissive as I was, the Black Widow with the damage amplification from a storm, we could have a conversation about this. We could absolutely have a conversation about this. So, you know, it's interesting. One of the cool things I like about this game, Aggro, is that I think this is the worst character in the game, and there's probably a small conversation about it, but definitely bottom 3. But that said, the overall power level of every single character means that even though she's the bottom of the tier list, so to speak, she's still viable, playable, and in the right spaces, like the Storm benefit, you can make some moves. So I was dismissive and I had some fun, but ultimately, I want to see something interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you play the sniper character, if you're clicking heads, it's going to do something for you the vast majority of the time, right? So that's going to be up to 6, and how many heads get clicked in this matchup, especially when there's not that same type of front line that you're typically seeing. Like, no Doctor Strange, no Magneto, both banned away. That means that the front line's going to be a little different from what he's used to contending with.
That said, unfortunately, Donald and Texi both playing really thick tanks. Hulk is the Hulk, and Groot played the right way, could get 1,000 HP. So not exactly a squishy composition for 6 to play up into. But again, this is a really big deal. We've been flying around with Storm here, and she does provide damage amplification to her squad. So we'll be looking in that direction for sure.
Lots of walls from the 2 Groots, but despite not getting a lot of kills from 6 or for a whole lot of people on AUS Endgame, they've gotten pretty good progress here on this payload, Tom. Already 60+% of the way there.
Yeah, it's a tough location, so a lot of times this one is kind of free, as long as you don't mess it up. We've got some ultimates coming around, but honestly, a little much ado about nothing. Not a large, exciting play going on. A couple of kills either way, but honestly, this is more of a stopgap.
Making sure it doesn't get too spicy at any point, and immediately that Luna Snow ultimate comes out. This Storm ultimate will get some ticks of damage, but won't find any kills.
And another Luna Snow ultimate puts a big old red light there, so a regroup here from our attackers endgame. But here's the problem. They did get a couple of kills across the way, not enough to really wind up getting that free checkpoint that I was talking about. So this second push, probably a little bit more cohesive and should get them the checkpoint.
This should be a Storm ultimate that can make something happen, potentially. They have Mantis. Gonna respond in kind, and instead, Kronicx not only gets said no kills, but shown the door as well.
Mantis ultimate stops the damage from one side, and then the damage swings to the other. 3 players already dead, and Donald is the 4th. And I don't think Tyrant and Crimsyn can hold this one. So our first checkpoint gained pretty cleanly. 2 big pushes coming out from endgame, and that's generally what I would expect on this first section of this map.
Yeah, I think you're expecting to get your Storm ultimate nullified by something like Mantis, but to instantly get one-tapped on the way out adds a little bit of salt to the wound. Gonna have to see if Kanga can maybe stagger those that ultimate across from the Mantis ultimate, or maybe take advantage of when it's down.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now, the attacker's ultimates. Moon Knight's going to be able to wipe a couple of players here. Big damage as those turrets from Namor just easily fight into what he wants to do here. But the defenders are going to get a little bit aggressive. Donald could find a kill if he finds his way to the back line, and he does! Inspo answers as well, the healer-on-healer action. And as a result, not a lot of healing coming from the back line means that the attackers get put down despite Donald's hard work.
Yeah, Donald really just created chaos in the back line there, and Nyang found a pretty good ultimate, but without any support, everyone could just turn and burn. Needed just one more member of his team probably would have opened up that push, but they were all too busy dealing with this Hulk in the back line.
Yeah, just a single player completely changing that team fight. Well done by Donald, and something you'll come to expect if you get a chance to watch this Kanga squad a fair amount. Oops.
Been there, you know.
Sometimes you just can't be there. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you just you push open the door and realize you're on the completely wrong street, and then my analogy falls apart because you usually don't get hit by a bus like Moon Knight did there.
I mean, I've watched a lot of Marvel movies at this point. A lot of people wind up getting hit by a bus.
That is true.
And a lot of people wind up getting hit by a whale. Groot whale combo. That's El Clasico. Defenders just did that.
Ah, yes. Let's get it. Okay, you know, it didn't go well on the last push. It's okay, team. Let's just go ahead, group up. We'll walk through. We've all been slaughtered by 2 ultimates that we never saw coming. Texi just absolutely got the drop on them, literally.
Here's the deal, though. 4 ultimates available, 2 of those being support ults. I mean that AUS Endgame probably going to get around this corner and maybe even down the street as a result if they play their ults right. Tank pushes up forward. Groot ult drops, but not a ton of follow-up. Obviously, no Moon Knight available this time around because he dropped it and it got whiffed. And so here come endgame support ultimates. Kronicx goes right into the front line and sends fire against fire. No movement from the attackers around this corner. They're going to be able to stop right here, and this is where Kanga wants to make their point.
Oh, Donald again, straight into the back line, going to cause some havoc back here. Tyraxi able to take down 2, 3, and AUS Endgame's push is completely stuffed.
Dude, Donald, man. Listen, much love to all the Kanga guys, and next game I'll be singing somebody else's praises. This is a well-balanced team, but Donald has been really single-handedly, and I don't know if it's going to even wind up on the scoreboard, Aggro, but his ability to just be on the healer's front porch the entire game has really put a spanner in Endgame's works.
Uh-oh, not again, Tom, not again. They got womboed again.
They can't stop it, man. This is a really rough spot, and by blowing those support ultimates and not getting what they came for on that next, like, turnaround, that street right here, this is what I'm talking about, where Inspo is standing right now, this next straight shot should have been relatively, I don't want to say easy, but you know how to do it. Unfortunately, the support ultimates out of endgame were answered by the Kanga players. This is going to be the last big push. Red Storm ult, Blue Storm ult, and it's going to be the Blue Storm ult on the back line. No Mantis answer available. Kronicx winds up getting 2. Kanga is just looking pretty. Overtime is over, and it's going to be a single checkpoint here for our attackers.
Really impressive stuff out of Kanga, and I'm with you, man. Donald they don't have the space created stat, a way to quantify how much space a tank can create for you, but he would be top of the charts without a doubt. Just the amount of attention he demanded in the backline, only dying twice as well, is really, really impressive. And he's able to do that a lot because Texi also was able to block so much damage. 34,000 damage blocked by the Groot. No Doctor Strange, no Magneto, no problems for Kanga's frontline.
He is Groot, man. I mean, that was, not only is he Groot, but the wombo combo of the Groot ultimate into the Khonshu nonsense. Yeah, it's bread and butter for a reason. And these guys opened up an Olive Garden. Like, this is just what they're going to do every single time. And, I mean, this is how I feel about cheese. Make me not play it.
I thought I was about to hear about, you know, your thoughts on Munster, or, you know, when provolone is appropriate on a sandwich versus a different type of cheese. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little disappointed. I was looking forward to that.
I mean, it really depends. Listen, you're a Pittsburgh man, so we have to mention Permanente, but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm a mozzarella.
That's provolone on the Perannis is a classic.
And I'm a mozzarella believer, so.
Hey, I can respect that. A little fresh mozzarella on an Italian sandwich, that you're speaking my language.
It's fresh. Donald and the rest of the Kanga squad looking for a fresh approach this time around. In general, this first little push is not really defended just because of how far away the respawn place is, and right away. I like how Donald doesn't waste any time. He's just up on the high ground spitting at the healers.
Hey, he knows where he's going to be. They know where he's going to be. It's up to AUS Endgame to try and stop him. They just haven't shown the ability to do so quite yet. They're not alone in that. Donald's been a force in this region.
A little scary on that left side flank, but honestly, the unceremonious kills have just opened up this checkpoint already. And so, not a lot of fanfare. No pomp, no circumstance, no fireworks. Just a whole lot of takedowns coming out from the Kanga squad. Ryan, I call this clocking in and clocking out. They're just going to work. Nothing fancy.
Nope, they just get the job done. Make it look pretty simple. No type of stalling required on that initial push, and that gives them plenty of time, over 5 minutes, to make it to the checkpoint and push past the point where AUS Endgame did to secure this match.
Donald fearlessly just standing still, daring somebody to walk up to the cart. Oh my goodness, there's not a taunt button, but that was a taunt right there. The defenders, they will have that invisible woman ultimate coming up in a matter of moments, but there's nobody left to heal. Cloak and Dagger falls down before she can even reach 100% on that ultimate. Team wipe this time, and nobody's left. Much love to all of our teams. This one was easy.
Kanga's built different, bro. I don't know how else to say it, man. They just absolutely rolled over AUS Endgame in that second round. It was a pretty solid push from AUS Endgame at times, and it looked like they might be able to make it to that second checkpoint, but some big plays from Donald and Texi and the rest of Kanga stuffed the offense, and then the defense just never had a chance for AUS Endgame. Impressive stuff from Kanga once again.
Listen, I wish this wasn't the case, but the fact of the matter is that 6 just didn't do it. This is a character that, all right, let's not get too into the weeds, but when you talk about like power level, you know, some characters have a really giga strong ultimate and then their kit is okay. Well, she's the opposite. She's gonna almost kill you and maybe sometimes kill you with a little bit of boost. That's why the Mantis is there. But her ultimate 80% slows big, but it leaves a little bit to be desired. So what winds up happening is you just have to make your money on these regular shots. You just have to be killing everybody. And she wasn't. If you're a little sloppy, but then have that big storm ultimate moment, it still works out. Same thing with, I'm looking at Namor here, like pick a DPS. But that's just not what she does. And so you have these explosive moments coming out from Kanga, and then 6 just didn't provide the damage, and I wish it wasn't this simple. I think it was just the pick.
Yeah, it didn't do them a whole lot of favors. I'll tell you that much. I mean, you look at the supports for Kanga, 1 death on Inspo, 0 deaths on Crimsyn. You look at the healing output from those two, each hitting the 28k mark. No one on the other side even hitting 17k. Now, that's going to be difficult to beat whenever the healing output is that strong, and you'd pick something like Black Widow in order to put some pressure on that support line, but just didn't end up happening there for AUS Endgame.
And then the last note that I want to say here, because like, yes, I do think that the Black Widow was a big contribution to the loss for Endgame, but bigger than that, even if 6 was on a different character, even if 6 played extremely well with this selection, I think Donald just doesn't let it happen. He was a wall. There was always separation between the healers and the rest of the mosh pit when it came to Endgame's team formation, because there was just a Hulk in there the whole time. That, I think he won the game.
Yeah, hard to argue with, man. I mean, Donald put in a lot of work. Texi did the most damage on his team and blocked 40k at the same time. Like, the front line here for Kanga, just dominant. The back line, dominant. The mid line, you know, Kronicx and Tyrax did great. They did awesome. They didn't have to do that much with how well the other two groups on the team were really performing.
Just gotta fill in those gaps. And that's where we're going, to a gap or a break. Commercial. We'll be back. Thanks for hanging out.